You knew exactly what you were doing that night, didn't you? Don't you lie to this court!
I did it. I swear.
Look at me! Say it again!
Officer, that's enough. This is not an interrogation. Sit down.
Ma'am, you can't speak here. Sit down. The officer's tone was sharp, his smirk confident. The kind of confidence born from getting away with lies. Across the courtroom, the young man he'd accused stared at the floor, defeated. But the woman in the back didn't move. She didn't need to. Not yet. Because in a few moments, the judge would call her name, and everything would change. This is the story of a cop who lied under oath. And the black woman he never knew was a government inspector sent to expose him. Where are you watching from? Comment your city below. It was supposed to be just another day in court. Another observation, another file to review, another quiet morning for Alicia Freeman, a compliance inspector for the state's Department of Justice. She'd been doing this for years, sitting in the back row, taking notes, ensuring that legal protocols were being followed by local officers and prosecutors. No one ever noticed her. That was part of her job. To blend in, to observe, to see how justice worked when no one knew they were being watched. That morning, the courtroom hummed with low chatter and shuffling papers. Sunlight cut through the high windows, turning the dust in the air into a soft haze. Alicia sat near the back, her dark blazer crisp, her badge tucked away in her bag. She looked like any other spectator, calm, composed, invisible. Across the room, Officer Daniel Cross leaned casually against the witness stand, his uniform neat, his confidence obvious. He was testifying in a case against a young black man accused of resisting arrest, a charge Alicia had seen too many times before. As he spoke, Alicia watched his mannerisms. The way his jaw tightened when questioned, the slight smirk when the defense attorney stumbled, the ease with which he described the suspect's aggression. It was practiced, too practiced. Something about his words didn't sit right. She'd read the report earlier that morning, and now, listening to him twist the details, a quiet unease started to rise in her chest. But Alicia didn't move. She didn't speak. She just listened, her pen unmoving over her notepad. Around her, the courtroom followed his every word, believing him, trusting him. No one knew that the quiet woman in the back row wasn't just an observer. She was there for him. And before the day ended, Officer Cross's confidence and his lies would face a truth he could never have imagined. The courtroom would never forget her name. The case continued, and the air in the courtroom thickened with unspoken bias. Officer Daniel Cross spoke with the kind of certainty that came from years of being believed. His tone carried authority, the kind that silenced doubt before it could form. The defendant, a young black man named Marcus Lee, sat quietly beside his public defender, his eyes fixed on the floor. Every word Daniel spoke painted Marcus as dangerous, uncooperative, unpredictable. Alicia listened, her heart tightening with each fabricated detail. She had reviewed the footage earlier that morning, body cam evidence that hadn't been submitted yet. She knew Marcus hadn't resisted. He had asked a question, stepped back, and that alone had been enough to be labeled a threat. Daniel's version twisted every second of that encounter into a justification. The judge nodded along. The jury scribbled notes. It was working. The story Daniel crafted was taking root. Alicia's official role was to audit the trial afterward for compliance and to check whether the department had followed legal procedure. But watching the performance unfold in real time, she could barely sit still. Her fingers gripped the edge of her notebook. The words resisted arrest, non-compliant, and aggressive behavior echoed in her ears. Each one landed like a strike. She saw Marcus glance at his mother in the audience, a silent exchange of fear and hope. Alicia had seen that look before, people praying that truth alone might save them. But truth, she knew, was fragile when power stood against it. When the defense attorney finally rose to cross-examine, his voice trembled. He was young, clearly overwhelmed. Daniel's smirk deepened as he dismantled every question thrown his way, turning uncertainty into confidence, manipulation into truth. He even laughed once, a soft chuckle that rippled through the courtroom, feeding the illusion of innocence. Alicia wrote a single note. Pattern of deception consistent with misconduct. Her pen pressed so hard it nearly tore the page. The hearing stretched on. Witnesses came and went. By midday, Alicia's silence grew heavier. She had seen bias before, but this was personal. Not because of Marcus, but because of what it revealed. How easily justice could be twisted, how effortlessly lies could pass as law. When the court recessed for lunch, Alicia stayed behind. She stood, stretched, and caught Daniel's eye across the room. For a moment, his gaze flickered with curiosity, then arrogance. He gave her a quick nod, a half smile as if to say just another spectator. She didn't respond, because soon she would no longer be a spectator. By the afternoon session, the prosecutor called for a procedural review. Before proceeding, the court has requested a departmental observer to verify that the officer's testimony aligns with submitted records, the judge said. Heads turned. Confusion rippled through the courtroom. Daniel's smirk faltered. Alicia rose slowly from her seat, clutching her folder. The Department of Justice seal faintly visible in her hand. Whispers filled the air. No one yet understood what was about to unfold. That the quiet woman in the back wasn't just watching. She was about to turn the entire courtroom on its head. And for the first time, Daniel Cross felt something he hadn't felt all day. Doubt. The courtroom fell silent as Alicia approached the witness stand. The sound of her heels against the floor echoed like a drumbeat, steady, deliberate, unshaken. The judge adjusted his glasses and scanned the official identification she presented. Then his brows lifted slightly, realizing what he held. "Ms. Alicia Freeman," he announced, his voice firm. "State Department of Justice. Inspector for the Office of Civil Oversight." Every head in the room turned. Daniel Cross blinked. Once, twice, the color draining from his face. The same confidence that had carried him all morning evaporated in an instant. Alicia stood tall, her expression calm but resolute. "Your Honor," she began, her voice clear, "I have reviewed the official body camera footage submitted by the department. I can confirm that Officer Cross's testimony does not align with the documented evidence." Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Marcus's mother clutched her hands to her mouth. The judge leaned forward. "Are you saying the officer lied under oath?" Alicia didn't flinch. "Yes, Your Honor. Multiple statements made today were false," Daniel stammered, words tumbling over one another. She's mistaken, But the footage spoke for itself. The screen flickered to life as the clerk played the video. The truth unfolding in cold, unedited clarity, every smirk, every lie, every false claim burned away under the glow of the evidence. By the time the video ended, the courtroom wasn't breathing, and Daniel Cross's career, his credibility, was finished. Dear audience, where are you watching from? Drop your city name in the comments! When the gavel struck, it wasn't just the sound of justice, it was the sound of reckoning. The judge's tone was solemn as he dismissed the charges against Marcus Lee and ordered an internal investigation into Officer Daniel Cross's conduct. For a moment, the room remained still, as if no one reasonably believed what they had witnessed. Marcus stood, tears forming in his eyes. His mother reached for him, whispering thanks through trembling lips. Alicia quietly gathered her papers, her face calm but her heart pounding. She hadn't come here to be a hero. She had come to do her job. Yet in doing so, she had torn open the curtain that so often hid injustice behind authority. Outside the courthouse, the air felt different. Reporters gathered. Phones flashed. People asked her for statements, for sound bites, for something quotable. But Alicia said only one thing. Truth doesn't need a microphone. It just needs courage, her words spread. Within hours, the story made headlines. Not about a confrontation, but about accountability. An officer exposed. A man is freed. A system forced to face itself. That night, Alicia sat alone in her car, the courthouse lights fading in the distance. She thought of how many others had never been believed. How many had faced the same lies, without anyone there to speak up. And as the city lights shimmered, one thought echoed in her mind. How many more truths still wait in silence, hoping someone will finally listen? Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more true stories that reveal the power of truth.